If you've been wanting a Toyota battery electric vehicle, or you just want to know more about their EV plans, well, I have good news for you. We're over at Automotive News. If you followed earlier this week, you know that Toyota is investing billions of dollars into a new battery production plant here in the United States. We don't know where it's going to be yet, and we don't know if there are going to be new assembly lines opening up to make way for their ET&GA platforms. That is their new skateboard platform for their battery electric vehicles. But we may know those things soon. Automotive News says the automaker is hosting an event in Southern California next month for journalists to lay out its expanded electrification strategy. And I just might be one of those journalists heading to Southern California to talk about this expanded electrification strategy. But in order to kind of find out what they're going to talk about there, because I love speculation, you guys know that, we need to take a look in the past. Over at Digital Trends, going down memory lane, this is from October of 2019, 2 years ago, before the world burned down. And yeah, you guys know Toyota's evolution continues with the 2021 Mirai and the 2021 RAV4 plug-in. And these vehicles have been very well received, to say the least. We're seeing the new RAV4 Prime being found essentially in the Lexus lineup through the NX 450h Plus. If you haven't seen that video, go ahead and check it out. I've already reviewed the RAV4 Prime, which, by the way, the Prime wasn't even named at this point in time in October 2 years ago, and it's been on the market now for about a year in the United States as a RAV4 Prime, and other places in the world it's called the RAV4 plug-in. But also the 2020 Mirai, which is selling really well, and really places like California, because there's nowhere else you're probably going to find hydrogen in your local market. And they also introduced an extended 10-year, 150,000-mile battery warranty for their 2021 hybrids, plugins, and fuel cell electric vehicles. This new event is going to be in Southern California, 2 years after what Toyota called evolution. Southern California is important because that is the hotbed for electric vehicles. It's also the only hotbed for fuel cell electric vehicles as well right now. And I'm hearing gas prices are over $5 a gallon in parts of California. Like where I live, it's still in the low threes, thank God. I know it can be better in, Texas and Alabama. I'm sure gas is real cheap there in comparison. But I have a list here of things that I'm expecting either Toyota to talk about, or I want them to talk about and give us more information on. And the very first thing is going to be more information on their BZ lineup. Beyond Zero is what it stands for. It is their lineup of fully battery electric vehicles. We know that the BZ4X, which I did a walk around on last May at ToyotaCon 2021 HQC, but we don't know what the other 6 models in the BZ lineup that will be available or announced by 2025. Do I expect all of them to be in America by 2025? It's hard to say, but at least a few of them, and the BZ4X is the only one that's confirmed at this point that I'm aware of. So I want to know more, not only about the whole range, but I want to know more about the BZ4X, which will be available in the summer of 2022 here in the United States. And it's the first battery electric vehicle from Toyota to be available here for the United States, if you're not counting like the RAV4 electric vehicles in years past. I want to know availability. We know it's summertime, but I want to know like an on sale date or expect it in showrooms by end of July, something like that. I don't expect pricing because we're really far out, but a ballpark figure would be nice. Range numbers and technology would also be nice. I would love to see around 300 miles of range. That's kind of the going rate for crossovers right now in the electric market. I want to see what kind of technology they're bringing to it. Toyota Teammate in it. That's their autonomous driving technology. And then I want to know what kind of power they're going to be putting in this BZ4X. I'm expecting around 300 horsepower, but what about Lexus? Will Toyota talk about Lexus in this event? I don't think so. I think it's just going to be Toyota models only. And I think they'll save the LF-Z production model. The RZ450E is what we're hearing. I think they'll save that for a dedicated event, or some other event. I don't expect them to talk about it at this next Toyota electrification event in Southern California. So sorry guys, I just don't see it happening. I think they're going to talk also more about hydrogen. You have to realize Toyota isn't one track mind, and the reason is because their customer base is way too varied to only have shoebox themselves into believing battery electric vehicles are the only way to reduce emissions. Their multi-pronged approach is going to include hybrids, plug-in hybrids, and fuel cell. And I'm expecting more fuel cell to be talked about. I will probably be, if I am going, I will probably be driving the Mirai and giving you guys a review on it. I've done it before. I didn't get a chance to record it with cameras in the Mirai while I was driving it, but I really like driving that vehicle. And I think they'll talk about the hydrogen fuel combustion engine just a little bit at this event. They've put it in their Corolla for racing purposes. We've also heard rumors coming out of Japan that they might put it in the Prius. I think that is a far-fetched idea, but Lexus, for example, just showed a hydrogen fuel cell internal combustion engine and an ATV when they unveiled the new Lexus LX600. Very strange, but they didn't even announce a hybrid for the LX600 or the 750H is what we're expecting to call it. Anyways, I'm not going to get too bent out of shape on the Lexus end right now. It's more mainly Toyota. The next thing I feel like they're going to talk about is going to be the US built EVs. And this article from Automotive News is talking about the new battery plant, which is going to be an over $3 billion investment. We still don't know where it's at, and we don't know, like I said, what kind of EVs they're going to be building here. Those batteries have been confirmed to be producing batteries for hybrids, plug-in hybrids, and battery electric vehicles. And what makes the most sense for me, at least in this point in time, is for them to have fully battery electric variants of the Tundra, of the Sequoia, of the Tacoma, and those batteries for those vehicles be produced here stateside. And the rest of those batteries will be produced for hybrids here in North America. So time will tell on that one. I'm expecting the majority of the BZ models, at least for the next 10 years potentially, to come just from Japan. But time will tell if Toyota decides to put a full ETNGA plant/assembly line here in the United States. And I'm hoping to hear some more news on their hybrids. They continue to offer more hybrid models, the Tundra being the newest one here stateside. In Japan, they have the new Aqua, which is the same thing as a Prius C, but that's, rest in peace here in America. But that has a new nickel metal hydride bipolar battery, which should really help the vehicle in terms of power as well as fuel efficiency, and be able to keep the cost down compared to lithium ion. So hopefully we learn more about their bipolar battery here at this event. Not getting my hopes up for it, to be honest. And it would be wonderful to hear more about a new Prius. But the Prius is more of a global model, and I expect them to announce more information on the Prius from Japan, not at a North American event. Maybe we'll actually hear more of the North American models, the fully electric North American models at this event, such as the body on frame, Tundra, Sequoia, Tacoma. I think hearing about plug-in hybrids or fully battery electric vehicles for the North American market, exclusive for the North American market, like the Tundra, like the Sequoia, like the Tacoma, are more likely than a new Prius. But it would be cool to see some new Prius news. And the last thing that I want to see, and I hope they talk about at this Toyota event, is in addition to the Prime lineup, we only have two Primes. We have a Prius Prime, we have a RAV4 Prime. And I would be salivating if they had a Sienna Prime. I would go drop ridiculous amounts of money on a Sienna Prime right now if it was in the market. Unfortunately, it isn't. I'd love to have a 300 horsepower, 35 miles of electric range minivan. That would be an absolute dream of mine. So if we can hear more about a Prime lineup, and I know a lot of you guys would like a 4Runner Prime or a Tacoma Prime, etc. It's a Tundra Prime. I could keep going. I think plug-in hybrids is where Toyota can really have a unique approach to electrification, where a lot of other manufacturers are just skipping this step altogether. And here in America, it makes a lot more sense than most other places in the world due to our lack of infrastructure, charging infrastructure, I should say, throughout the nation. And which model would you like to see for the Prime treatment? Obviously, for me and my big family, I'd love to have the Sienna. Heck, a Sequoia wouldn't be bad either. The RAV4 Prime and the Prius Prime were great starts, but to have no new Prime models announced at this point is kind of unacceptable in my opinion. There should be a new Prime coming out every year, and you can't really count the Lexus NX 450h Plus. We're not talking about Lexus today. But anyways, guys, I'm going to end it there. To recap, Toyota is having an electrification gathering in Southern California with news outlets, media outlets. I may or may not be going. I'm expecting them to talk about the BZ4X. I'm expecting them to talk about their update on hydrogen. I'm expecting them to talk about their U.S. battery production plant as well as assembly for battery electric vehicles here in the United States. I'm also expecting a hybrid update with maybe a nickel metal hydride. Hopefully we hear something about solid state batteries. I haven't even mentioned that, but not going down that route right now. And I would love an expansion of the Prime lineup here in the United States. But guys, I'm going to end it there. A lot of news coming out of Toyota's camp for electrification starting next month. I'm not going to give you the exact dates. I'm not going to give you what the event may or may not be called. We just know that a lot of good news is coming. Hopefully it's good news. But I'm getting excited for it. I'm not going to get my hopes up too much. On this list, what am I actually getting my hopes up for the most? Maybe some more information on the BZ4X, and that's about it. The rest of it is more of like my wants, my desires, and what I think Toyota really needs to push the bar with here in the United States. But anyways, guys, I'm going to end it there. If you enjoyed today's video, smash the like button. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss my coverage on this upcoming Toyota electrification event in Southern California. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.